Obviously, Orgles, as we said, we don't have a lot to go off of in terms of how they do on really any map in general, but they do have one game of Mirage on record. It was up against Singularity. It was 12-16. They did end up losing it, but Singularity are not a bad team by any means, so I wouldn't say that that's the worst of performances. Just looking at the stats anyway, obviously we had a 16-12 in the previous series. That wasn't as close as the numbers would have showed, so that could have been the same case. But we're into it. We're into this pistol round now, and it is actually Orgles starting off over on the CT side here. The names were messed up for just a second, but we all good now.
We all Gucci and we all ready. Lilmix, they're going to be putting up a bit of a fight towards A. We see 3 players pushing out. Ping ready to begin, though, as he finds the first. There will be Svedge ahead coming in through connector. BQ likewise, although Svedge ahead gets one, it's still going to be Jazar with the hold through short. And with both Quicks and Craze being left in pit, this is not the easiest of moments for them. Craze gets himself a shot off on Ping, but the P250 only good for the one. Unfortunate enough that Orgles will take it away as easy as that. And I mean, I say easy, it wasn't as easy. More a good start. Ping obviously opening it up through Stairway, getting the first player out of pit, and already kind of reading into what is happening here against Lilmix. Their strategy was well read and well prepared against in a way, as Orgles take it for the first.
Yeah, in a pretty quick fashion as well. That pistol, neither team slowing things down, just taking the contact straight to each other, and I don't think it's really going to slow down here in the second round either. Could be a little bit risky,
definitely.
but I mean, we've seen how aggressive Orgles wanted to be in that previous series, so likely is the game plan that they normally come in with, and indeed not going to be slowing it down, even after finding that top mid contact. A little bit of trouble, actually, as they're coming out from under here. Quicks gets one, but can't really afford to stick around. They did also know that, of course, there was another player around top mid as Cypher had actually just taken down one of their teammates, so not looking too good here on the force buy, it has to be said. Ping ends up finding BQ, who had creeped out A, and yeah, unfortunately, no one in position, obviously, to get the trade. So a 4-on-2 here, where Orgles should finally realize they don't really need to continue on with that aggression, and indeed, hold a bit more passive around mid. Crossfire between short and connector, playing it pretty much as safe as they could. And yeah, Kree's, his hope here is to just really try and get a bomb plant, which is possible. I mean, Jazar's 28 health holding from jungle. If he manages to get that kill here with the Mach 10, then a good chance maybe the bomb can go down, but never mind. Ping is rotated in. And although he gets the drop for a moment, with the Mach 10, he just doesn't have the range.
Yeah, he's unable to secure himself the immediate headshot, right? Something we do see at times, these Mech 10s able to get the headshot, maybe the double dink even, and that kind of makes it very easy to then continue spraying on. But in this case, just no such luck. And unfortunately, it doesn't go as planned as well as one had believed. In any case, 2-0, Orgles, they're starting off again very well, just like on against Excellency. They have the start that might bring them about quickly and give them an early advantage. Although, given what we saw against Excellency, I'm not going to believe until they actually win this. Like, even if it's going to be 14-1 for Orgles, I'm gonna only believe that they can win after they've actually won.
If we see a 14-1, I would give them the benefit of the doubt, and I just feel silly then if they did end up losing it. But I think at that point you'd probably have to be like, yeah, they should have this. Like, surely.
Yeah, like
I was feeling the same thing for a nuke in the previous game, so.
Exactly, that's the thing, right? It's like, you know, okay, I get the, you know, benefit of doubt definitely comes into play, but in that sense, the way they handled nuke was just abysmal, and hopefully this doesn't happen here, because it must be devastating for the mental state of the players. It's just horrifying when you have to, when you just look at it like you're not even playing, but just a third-party observer to a loss like that.
I mean, Lilmix had 2 very poor performances on the second and third map of their series as well, so it's not like they're coming off the back of any sort of high momentum themselves. Brody, I like this. They had the weaker weapons still in play. They actually just kept the 1 MP9, decided to go aggressive with it, but they also had a player pushed out, I guess, connector. Not sure if he dropped out window, but either way, gets taken down. A risky peek by Dobbo in return, but he does find one, and obviously knows Quicks is low. He knows he's around here, so he was prepared for somewhere around that right side to have a player, but unfortunately the timing not quite working in his favor. And I don't think Jazar has realized that he's actually left, or at least isn't sure of it. So he needs to be a little bit cautious of that position for a while, which obviously gives some time for Lilmix to go ahead and reposition themselves at this point. They have the 3-on-2. Sure, they have one player who's low, but as long as they stick together and try and trade it out, then it should still be a favorable round, I guess, from this point on. Actually going to leave one, I guess, to try and sell a bit of an A-fake. The other 2 just walking back through the apartments, and it seems to be the correct decision.
Yeah, it's not the worst idea here, as they will be faking out with quicks. Just keeping the CTs occupied, keeping them wandering, keeping them on A site, and that should be the round gone pretty much. Orgles, they do have kits available, but look at Jazar. He's already rotating back, reading into the scenario, reading into what is happening. Question is, do they attempt this retake? It's a 2-on-3. It's not impossible. And if they secure an entry early on, mid control, this mid battle is all that it matters to right now. And Quicks, he knows Ping is somewhere close. Quicks, though, yeah, he'll be able to come right behind him. And by the time Ping realizes what's up, he's already going to be well and done. That is the first round to Lilmix. Early on, the gun round that they pick up. Quite important that they do so at this stage. And Jazar can do a little bit of exit damage.
He's going to get another kill. Yeah, this is so much damage. Lilmix, they could not afford to lose those 2 weapons, and they definitely can't afford to lose this last one.
Yeah, they're a little bit broken economically speaking in that sense. They will be having to utilize whatever they have left in the bank, and Bottom Master even needing a drop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, obviously if they had taken the op out of the hands of Jazar, he only had 1700, and he wouldn't have really been able to be given a drop, the rest of them having to buy for themselves. So it would have obviously had a lot of impact, but high risk, high reward, and in this case it's the risk that unfortunately is what reigns prevalent for Lilmix. They end up losing a couple of those weapons, and as you said, somewhat limiting their own buy here. The nade's not ideal, but they do have what they need to try and actually get that second round in a row, and with that, gain some momentum, gain some confidence. Quicks, he manages to creep around the edge of that short smoke and just decimate a couple of players. It will be traded back, but obviously they realized that a lot of that presence was around mid for Orgles, so they've made the A push happen in the meantime. It gets a little scary as the Oppa Jazar is still fragging. He definitely has something to prove in this matchup against his fellow countrymen, you have to say. Finally being flashed off the angle and missing, but he's still alive for now, but not quite until the point that I finished that sentence. So it is all on Dobbo now. He needs to come in clutch, and I don't think they're going to be expecting Palace so quickly. Thankfully, Bowden has gone ahead and repositioned into the corner.
So far, so good. Dobbo finds one in the second as well. As he swings out wide through Palace, through balcony, he gets a glimpse of the player in noob corner and is able to snuff him out. A close call, but he's able to do so regardless, and perhaps an opportunity there that Lilmix could not afford to drop. And well, they've had. That is going to be quite the well, I guess you could say quite the upset in a little way. This does destroy the balance that Lilmix were barely able to keep. And we can see the reply is almost imminently a full investment. No surprise, I believe. Quicks the AK, Bodenmaster the AK, Svedjehad. I'm not even sure how to properly pronounce that. That's even weird. Galil. So it's not the worst of buys considering their options, but it's also not exactly something they can be very happy about, especially if they lose. But Bodenmaster, he didn't go for any utility besides the single molly and the AK Kevlar. Interesting decision. Let's see how it works out.
Working out pretty good on the entries. Oh, that is wild. Quicks wanted to apparently try and get them to control around jungle and connector, but unfortunately just ends up giving away what initially was their advantage. Bowden, he will be able to return one quickly. Actually ends up getting the second. The deep flash given the assistance that they needed, and BQ surely has that frag on Brody. And unfortunately with Ping left alone, sure the only real option would be to save, but even then, that's not that much of an option because he was pinned in the corner there in jungle. So he will be finished off as he fights, as he attempts to take that fight to back away, and Kreese, he confirms that second round. A big round though coming in by Bowden, able to find those 2 kills in the spawn, and with that pretty much confirmed it for them.
The most important of entries was the fact that he got rid of Jazar and his op, right? That he's able to isolate him and then force the CTs to pretty much go in blindly or without any real support. Now in this case, Orgles, they're not going to be exactly very happy about this. Who would indeed? And a force buy to return the favor, not really working out as planned. They already lose an entry as Ping gets caught in towards A, trying to cross to connector. And the 4 AKs left could be a menace here for Lilmix to handle, yet if Lilmix play their cards right and they respect the distance that you have to work in these dire times, I think they should be able to handle the round itself. Dobbo, though, good start. He gets himself one at least and even picks up an M4 to work with. So it's not the worst of outcomes here in this instance, yet Jazar.
Oh, that
Fair
got a
enough.
little dicey there, taking a few shots, but now they've got an AK, and I mean both players do have Kevlar. In this case, though, it had already been the 2-on-3, unless they were to somehow manage to get a kill just before or as the bomb goes down, then it's really not too worthwhile. If they had have moved in, there was a player fairly aggressive up on short that maybe could have been a bit of an opening, but considering they had, of course, spent everything into this round, having an AK and also now the M4 on Brody to carry over into this next round and just give themselves something to work with and a chance to try and keep the damage on, of course, that is definitely the, I guess, the better of the two options that they had, which was to either save or attempt the retake. 3 players surviving for Lilmix, so indeed, a bit of reinvestment has to come in, but they will at least be able to kind of survive with the bare minimum that you need to in these situations.
I'm going to be blasphemous right now, and I'm going to say they should attempt a full buy. Orgles5. Go in with, go in with 2 FAMASs, 2 AKs, and either a Scout or a Deagle for the last, whatever he would prefer. In this case, maybe, you know, something to work with. The economy for the T's is not as good as one might imagine, and of course, even if they do lose here, they probably rebuy. But you know, there's a chance you can break them in half, and having 2 AKs and potentially 2 FAMASs, if they were to go for it, they would have ample opportunity to perhaps take the lead yet again and try and break Lilmix by force. And why I say that is because you could potentially cut them across, right? You could surprise them with that. But then again, they have decided for the smarter play here, and that will be the economy investment, although already getting to lose 1 ping. Good reply. Deagle gonna be accurate. Brody peeks out from lower as well, gets himself the shot on Svedge ahead. This is not yet over, and imagine what if they had a few FAMASs to work with, and even Kevlars, for example. 4v3 in this current stance. Lilmix not looking too sweet nor too little in this instance, as BQ is actually going to make his way towards B. Where's the support coming out for Orgles, though? They need to take B site before Lilmix reach the site itself, or before BQ gets himself onto a comfortable spot. And he's about to get the drop here, I believe, on 1 at guaranteed. Oh, no, what? Okay, no drop, no 1, no nothing. BQ kind of whiffs his shot, I guess, or something, because he was peeking the angle whilst both players were a bit off key.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how that went down as it did, but I'm sure Orgles are happy enough with the situation that now they have been able to actually snatch away a 4-on-2. You said you wanted to see the buy so they could have a chance to put a stop to the momentum here of Lilmix, and they might be able to do it even without it. Quicks and Bowden creeping forward onto A. May have a chance to get the bomb planted, but you need to see Palace, of course, being covered. And yeah, Bowden has the correct read. They had the molly down on ramp to minimize the angles that they actually had to worry about. With that, they are indeed able to get the bomb planted. And Dobbo, he doesn't really want to pounce until his teammates are ready. They want to try and work together now on this retake. And I like this. 3 of them coming in from jungle. Rifles in the hands of all of them with Quicks. He's going to have to go huge. Nearly manages to actually line it up. Unfortunately, won't be successful, and now Bowden with the op 1-on-3. If they beat this together, if they swarm him at the same time, it's going to be difficult, but not like this. He has 1-on-1 each time. Thankfully for the Orgles fans, I suppose. Jazar, he is able to come out on top of that 1-on-1 in the end because of the shot being missed, but that got a bit too close, and even the defuse here was a bit too close for my liking. Just about manages to find it. Will get the op upgrade for himself, but yeah, Orgles, they steal it away. Coming down to the 1v1. Not ideal, obviously, for Orgles, but considering they had gone into that round on an eco, they're still feeling fantastic because they're going to have a great economy now to actually buy up into this round. And as you said, try and get back into winning ways, and by taking this next round, likely they would be able to break that economy for Lilmix. But yeah, look how close that shot was.
I mean, cutting it down to the edge. Bowden Master unfortunately can't close it with success, but it was a tight call regardless, and looking at this current setup of Orgles, there will be an A execution coming their way. They are not perhaps set up to handle this perfectly. Dobo wins the engagement against BQ. Where's the rest of the team, though? Lilmix. What is this kind of push? Where's the rest of the team? 1 by 1. Here we go. It is the 1-on-1 challenge here. The 1-on-1 play. Dobo finds himself all 3. And that shall be Lilmix losing a valuable amount of players before they ever get to sites in the first place. Jazar! Ooh. That was a little bit risky, but he gets away with the shot at least, and it leaves Quicks in a 1-on-2. This current position that he is in is not the most comfortable ones. I mean, it is a 1-on-2 at least, so it's not that troublesome, and also he's got about little bit less than a minute on the clock. And look at this. He's making all the way run through towards B. I kind of like this actually from him, that he immediately decides to run B. Like, that doesn't even care. Just runs straight up, knife in hand, balls to the walls, and that's exactly what you need. Quicks, 1-on-2, now very winnable.
Oh, definitely, especially with the bomb being planted for short. If he was a second earlier, there may have even been able to catch a player actually creeping through the window. But there is nades. That's the thing for Orgles on this. They have a Molotov. They have 2 smokes, a kit as well, alongside some flashes. So certainly not going to be easy by any means for Quicks, but he's got the position here to try and play it. Spam comes through before the bomb's even tapped, and nade goes in return, and the bomb's just going to be stuck. Quicks can't do anything about it, unfortunately. He had been spamming away since the moment that smoke went down, so by that point, he unfortunately was left to go for a reload, and with a player peeking in, he instead had to resort to trying to get that kill with the Glock, and even if he did, the bomb was defused by that point. So yeah, well played by Orgles. They're able to ensure that they do come out on that on top of that 2-on-1 by playing together. But with the bomb going down, it allows for Lilmix to come back in with the buy and just keep that pressure on. Orgles are not taking these rounds convincingly, so they are not building up any sort of economy in the reserve. So it is a position where Lilmix, they get 1, they likely get 2 for 1.
Yeah, 2 for 1.
Oh, Jaser just get wall banged, I believe there, as he was backing away from window.
It did seem like it, didn't it? And he pulls back all the way to CT, trying to play safe through murder hole. Quicks, what, ping? I mean, surely you know there's a wooden wall there and you can be fragged easily. Quicks, smart thinking, just sprays on through, knows that he has no other choice but to do so. Unfortunately, Cypher will be able to catch him off through short. That's a bit of a dead angle that he has to fight with. Dobo in sandwich. This is such a one-and-done spot. Do they check it, though, is a different question. Well, certainly they try to check it. Bodemeister, close range. He's a little bit too off-angle in that regard, as BQ is able to refrag. Oh, Jazar, I think he's got a good... Oh, he's definitely got a line of sight, or at least he has an awareness. No, never mind. He just repositions because he wants to reposition. I thought he might have an awareness of the player pushing in through apps, although he is very astute.
He definitely knows it's a possibility, and yeah, I think he actually does have the information.
He must have seen him, right? Yeah, surely.
He must have, otherwise you wouldn't be standing there spamming it and risking that you
Exactly.
get peeked from the other side of the apartments. But yeah, Kreese, he's in a bit of trouble right now. Honestly, he's wasting a lot of time. The issue is his teammates are not there. They're over on the A side of the map planting, and it hasn't really pulled any rotations away, as I'm sure he would have been hoping for.
Look at Jazar.
Oh, patient. Oh, this timing.
Jazar.
This is going to be crazy, because they have a good idea that he's there. They pretty much do know that he's coming in from behind, but they also need to get moving forward. So it'll be curious to see if they're able to cover off that flank at the same time. The op shot being connected. Both players now left standing barely at this point, limping along on 16 and 17 health respectively. Make that just Jazar now, as he gets headshotted either way, just to ensure that he will go down. Lilmix, as I had said, they had a 2-for-1 offer that was very, very limited time special indeed, because if they had waited any longer, Orgles would have started building up the money. Instead, now they break that economy. They force them down onto the full purchaser, which of course with the 1400 loss bonus, it only afforded them pistols and a few nades behind it, apart from a single M4. So this is a great opportunity for Lilmix if they take this to actually go up to 6.
Definitely a chance. Can they pull it off, though, is a better question. We've already seen them lose against Nico before. Now, there were 2 rifles saved. This time around, it's just the 1 for Brody. Not saved, but bought up. BQ. Good start. As again, Ping will be caught, this time pushing into Palace. It's not the first time they're pushing Palace either, Orgles. They're risking it with playing like that. Although, yep, there we go. Brody, he must have gotten the drop on Svedge ahead, or at least a bit of a spot, and he pushes in forward, gets himself the frag, now goes back. This is the way you would want to play in this instance, as Lilmix are completely unawares of their flank. They obviously know that there's a chance somebody could be coming through B house, but they also know there's a chance they could have lost T-Pit as well, as they are stuck in this position. But they seem to be keen on going towards B. I like this idea, you know, group up, go through short, clear the close angles, then just push in together. They have a player, which will be BQ in this case, coming in through B house. Should be able to clear out any issues. Quicks checks Edward and able to take the head of Brody. And that pretty much concludes the round, or at least should be the conclusion of the round itself. Chances are we're not going to be seeing more than maybe a frag or two going the way of course, in this case, Orgles.
Yeah, I don't even think they can afford to go for exit frags too much, just because they're going to have absolutely nothing in this following round. So I ideally want them to be able to at least try and get damage done in the next one. One kill would be nice, as would stealing away the weapons, but we'll see. Grouping up in the apartments, they'll stick together. There is an AK actually that they're going to be able to retrieve. I figured Lilmix would have tried to have maybe tossed that away into a bit of a harder to reach position, but no, they didn't get a chance to. So a rifle being brought over. We've seen how much damage a single hero rifle can do. So that is a bit of a scary prospect now. But still on paper, Lilmix, they should be favored to try and pull out this 6th round for themselves. Just maybe not quite as set in stone as it would have been otherwise, but we'll see. The main thing is that Lilmix already are actually building up a decent enough T-side for themselves. Obviously, they don't want to end it here on 5, but they've still got a few rounds to try and add 1 or maybe even 2 more to that. Who knows? Maybe they can still come out with the 9 on the halftime. Certainly possible with the momentum riding in their favor at the moment. But yeah, that's all I mean. It's about the grind. They only need to add another couple to really feel good, and anything above that really is going to be a bonus for them.
It will be a bit of a bonus, a bit of an extra step. Bodenmaster able to take out Cypher, Dobo as well. That's it. That's pretty much the end of the line here. Brody should be able to save the AK if in case he decides to do so. Ping, sure enough, going to be a bit more painful to handle, although Brody gets a great angle to work with. He will be spotted just as the boost comes in through window as well. He will not be able to reply in time. And as you called it already, Lilmix 6 rounds and a tie coming together here. Certainly a great recovery from the beginning of the half, given how Orgles were able to take the lead that quickly. I mean, if we just look at the scoreboard on top, it was 6-3 at one point, and it looked like it could get worse by the minute. But back at it again. No up, very little utility, a single kit. It is a perfect setting for Lilmix to take the half in their own way and take the lead fully on.
Yeah, as I said, even if they just add 1 more at this point, they're going to be feeling really good. So Orgles ideally aiming to go flawless in the remaining 3 rounds to try and shift that momentum back, which has been so far throughout this game. Not nearly as one-sided as what we've seen, at least in the previous one. Certainly more competitive as... Oh, this is dangerous. Dobbo surely is going to be spotted. It depends on the timing of when he moves out, and indeed, he tries to pop out maybe a second too early. The back gets spotted because of that tiny bit of movement, and although Jazar will get the refrag, at this point likely going to be forced to just give up the mid control for himself. But it is going to be a quick ace split actually coming in for Lilmix. They're going to need to find some quick success, and if they do, then that flank will be perfect. So they're just going to wait it out, which is reasonable considering we know there's 3 players on the bomb site.
This is not over yet, man. 3v3 as BQ is able to keep it at least in equal standing. Lilmix are pulling away. Now, not sure if they're going to go all the way back because they are returning back towards pit. So it seems like a bit of doubt has set in the minds of the T's. Not sure what they should be doing moving forward. Kreese, though, able to drop Jazar. That's a perfect start through triple. There will be a challenge. Brody! Did he just get BQ through Boden? I think he did. I think they both lined up and the headshot hit BQ first and then Boden. My lord, what an unlucky turn of events. Lilmix, their indecisiveness is what kills them in the end, even though Kreese secured the connector control. They just were a little bit late, as it is already.
Yeah, unfortunately so, but even then, I don't think they're too worried yet. Although if they lose this round here, then there is a really good opportunity. Honestly, whoever gets this probably gets the final round as well, or at least will have a much better opportunity in it due to having the stronger buy by miles. So this is very, very important, especially for Orgles, I would say more so, to ensure that they have a respectable half, one that they can be happy with. Bit of early damage being done, but overall Lilmix, they're able to get that mid control. Cypher up in ladder could be in trouble as the molly goes in. Perfect counter, indeed getting forced forward, but he doesn't care. Just takes the headshot, backs into where there is a little bit of safety. Then moves down into the window where I think he's going to catch another player off guard. Bodenmaster, not expecting that aggression to continue, but Cypher, he wanted to get out of there because of the molly that was really limiting his position, and they just keep on fragging. Orgles are taking this one with ease, it seems. Indeed, Jazar peeks out for the trade for Survive, and as I said, the loser of that one was going to be struggling now to buy into the final round of the half, and that definitely is the case here for Lilmix. They'll get what they can, but it's likely just to be that one rifle that we see already in their hands, other than that pistols to come out. Tech 9s on a couple of players, and Deagle for BQ. Plenty of nades, at least. That is a positive.
Quite a few indeed, and in this current stance, Lilmix have to make a decision. I don't think mid is their way anymore. They can't really take it away from Orgles unless this top mid push fails and they get a rifle for free, which almost happened right now. Here comes the counter push. Jazar pushing on forward. What the hell is going on here? As Cypher is pulling back from short, Jazar decides that he's going to take an aggressive stance and push on Peep. As Kreese finds two. This is what I'm talking about. Orgles set themselves up to fail in this case. It's just the disorganization and the disorientation that they bring up on the table that kind of destroys them in the end. And well, Lilmix, they were just given a golden ticket. It's a 2-on-1 with an op on Bowden and Kreese with still utility and AK. This is a perfect opportunity for them to close it out with success, and an 8-7 half would be really just a dream come true in this instance.
Especially considering how unlikely it was looking. As you said, that aggression may have cost Orgles this round unless Brody comes in huge with the clutch, and he's not allowed to. He was trying to clear out up close and connector, and even if he had gotten that kill on Kreese, obviously in towards ramp, then Bowden was also in a position where he could play time off the bomb, so there really was absolutely nothing to do in that situation. 8-7, Lilmix are feeling really good about how they were able to end that half, being able to take that final round, and of course just overall having a very respectable score for themselves now, swapping over to the CT side. Orgles, I would say the pistol round probably weighing a little bit heavier on them right now, a little bit more important perhaps if they want to be able to try and actually get off to a good start here on their T side. And 2 sets of utility coming in, probably just going to be an A execute, it looks like, especially as they all move in this direction. I mean, kind of gave it away before I said it.
Well, gave it away a little bit, but let's see if perhaps Orgles will be more successful with an A push this time around as Lilmix were in comparison. The pistol round gonna find purchase for Jazar as he finds... Actually, no, that's Cypher with the secondary, excuse me. BQ, though, able to reply, and CT hold gonna be successful. The counter flash coming in deep from Quicks will unfortunately still not be enough to hold Jazar and Ping at bay. As Orgles find the second pistol likewise, they will find great success to begin with here. And was it their T side? Yeah, their T side was the one side that they suffered the most defeat on Nuke, right? Against Excellency.
Yeah.
Yeah, their T side was the one.
They ended up making the comeback happen on their CT, it was.
Yeah, so in this case, we'll see how it goes for Orgles. They'll have to be a bit more organized, even though their name might suggest differently. And initially it looked like it might be a B rush, but the bomb is all the way back towards the middle, and seems like just a wanted fake trying to draw
I think trying
attention.
to bait out what little nades they knew would be in place. So that could indicate maybe a later B hit, or just in general trying to ensure that they don't have HGs and such for a retake if needed.
Yeah, it would make sense, right? Trying to basically draw attention to a potential push to see how many players there are on B and use whatever utility they had left. Definitely makes, in that case, the best position here for Orgles. Gives them ample opportunity, if nothing else, to go in without having to deal with smokes and mollies and the like. And even the rotation effectively still favoring them. I mean, the fake worked out perfectly in this instance, since they are executing A site and should be quite successful while doing so.
Yeah, extreme caution being taken at the moment, and it may be a bit of an issue for them actually. Not a stack in place initially as they start that A push forward, but quick rotations are going to come in. Thankfully, the AK has returned one, but Kreese, oh damn, rips off the head of both Brody and Ping, and I believe has even dropped the bomb in towards the spawn. Cypher needs to move in to retrieve it, and he will be able to go ahead and get himself the double to actually give access now potentially to B, even with the molly. Yeah, we'll be able to confirm it. Actually even forced the player forward, but didn't quite expect the peek. So nearly got caught with the knife out, but he's made it on towards B. The bomb is going to go down, even if we had a mini heart attack watching him manage to get into position. But now we have both players moving in from opposite sides very, very quickly. In theory, that can be a positive, but he ended up kind of in the perfect position there for him to just work a crossfire, so he was completely screwed. And yeah, Lilmix, they steal it away with the force buy. That is heartbreaking for Orgles. They at least get the bomb plant, so they're not looking at a double eco. That's a big positive. But still going to have to likely just take that one eco.
Most certainly will. I mean, Lilmix, they get lucky with that bit of a drop there by Kreese. Well, lucky might not be the right word, just the display of prowess and quality from Kreese gives them the chance. And Orgles, I would dare say it's their perhaps mistake to be pushing that deep into CT with the bomb, instead of perhaps focusing more on allowing the AKs to do their job and hold the line. But then again, it is what it is. 9-8, as we do have a counter force, Cypher AK, Dobo on a scout, and the rest with Deagle. Bolden peeks out connector, and oh my lord, almost gets all three. Now, sure enough, he gets dropped, but it's Kreese that's going to keep up the numbers as Lilmix is on the road to that tie. Pretty clear, pretty simple. Clear cut and dry, as some would say. Well done. So far, so good, as in this instance, Lilmix really are doing a great job at handling these high-pressure moments. And again, Bowden, you know, peeking out connector is a very dangerous endeavor. You really risk it all, because if he had died here, which was a potential outcome, and then a pretty big chance to happen, most likely connector is lost there after jungle, and all of a sudden you've got a flood of T's pouring on towards the A site.
Yeah, I mean, even if he died with one kill less there, that maybe could have been a bit awkward, so thankfully that didn't happen for the sake of Lilmix. But yeah, Orgles are on the full eco now in this one, so I do expect it to be fairly easy. Yeah, just about managing to stop the bomb plant, and Svedge ahead has a fun time there, mowing down 4. A little bit of help comes in from Kreese. 10-9, Lilmix, they've gone ahead and reclaimed the lead now for themselves. They had it for did they have it for a moment? No, they didn't even, did they? Because
Nope.
they went 6-6. Yeah, so that's actually the first time now they've been able to get into the lead. I forgot they hadn't quite managed to claim it, because they ended up losing up against the 2 saved weapons in pistols, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. They did. That's true.
Okay, they tried to just take the pace up. I guess expecting some nades perhaps to be lacking, or for it to just catch Lilmix off guard, but that doesn't happen. Svedge ahead mows down a couple with the AK. That A defense that we've seen work well in the previous against the pistols wasn't slowing down at all, no matter what weapons are in the hands of their opponents. And oh, he got blocked a little bit. He was planning on walking in that direction anyway, but he might have actually slightly avoided the nade, so that's unfortunate. Brody all alone, 1 on 4, and it is likely to be 11-9 in just a moment for Lilmix, as the nades make it a bit easier. Even so much time that Safin isn't really even an option at this point. If he wanted to go for it, I don't think he'd get hunted too aggressively, but they probably would be so willing to send a player or two out, and yeah, even now have a player already lurking around top mid, so trying to back off Brody's not going to be allowed to.
It's weird how Orgles, you know, they play for that mid control, they kind of stick to the plan to a bit of a default, and then they decide for this interesting push out of pit, and not that it's a necessarily bad push, but there's a single man that sprayed you down. That should tell you enough that maybe it would be best to not give him more chances as you already have. And we can see in this case, there will be a bit of a split yet again. 2-1-2, kind of classic. And already Svedge ahead, able to find the first Dobo, pushing hard in towards the house. And Brody will reply with a double through under. Out of Palace, there's a Deagle coming out to play. That should be, in this case, Jazar, and of course he gets dropped. Bolden finds Cypher. What is going on right now? How is this, like, what is this commotion? What is this weird trade of frags? Now we have a side that is lost, as Lilmix have let go of it completely. Kreese, he's watching connector as Brody tries to check it. I mean, this round is just so hectic. It's just weird. Overall, just no structure to it. Orgles, not sure what they were intending there, really. Just kind of left themselves high and dry there. I mean, at least if you had the bomb with them, I'd understand their motivation to go that fast towards A, but with this, it's a little bit different.
Yeah, I don't know. This is again kind of spiraling out of control for Orgles. We're seeing them lose control on the situation, similar to what happened in that previous series. And they might be struggling to get their feet back on the ground because Kreese doesn't care. He goes straight out mid. I was surprised he was keeping up the aggression. It does end up costing him a bit, but elsewhere, we do see the T's continuing to aggress, and again, it does backfire. So the man advantage goes in favor of Lilmix. They want to fight mid. This is crazy. Bowden was even thinking about dropping out window for a moment, I think. As soon as contact was found on top mid, though, he was forced to fall back off. And Quicks ends up getting blinded and dropped around the edge of the smoke. That's opened up the beast bullet now.
Oh, he sees him.
There is vision. Yeah, Bowden's gotten one. He knows there's another run short, and I do believe that they knew that there was a player there around the bottom of mid coming through under as well. Oh, definitely know he's in the apartment at this point.
They don't expect BQ, right?
They need to check this. That's the issue, though. Cypher's on his own, so he can't really afford to. I think a bit of noise had been made with the scope on the bomb site as well, so he presumed that at that point that they probably weren't playing up in the apartments.
You know what's the worst part here for Dubbo? That he does not know about Bowden. Yep. I mean, he does take the shot, he does line it up, but he doesn't connect the kill, and unfortunately the surprise is what gets him. 13-9, and Orgles, as you said, they seem to be repeating the unsuccessful run they had against Excellency, and oh man, what a turn of events. Lilmix, they're putting up the numbers, and they're definitely putting up the fight, as I honestly didn't expect it. I didn't expect it to go like this. 5 Mech 10s though. Maybe the difference will be met soon. Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, it looks like it. Straight towards B, but as you said, so much damage is done by the nades before they can even get out of the apartment. They do end up actually finding the kill on the Jayzar. Ping is going to be able to get one as well.
The hell?
Oh, no. So much damage in return. He gets another over the edge of the smoke on towards Bowden. This has just crumbled. I don't know what the hell has happened here for Lilmix. It's still winnable with 3 players. Barely hanging on to life, but it has certainly got a lot more difficult than it should have been. And if they don't get a quick kill, saving should definitely be on their mind right now because they don't have a lot of money in the reserve. Getting that one, though, I think is probably going to influence them to go forward, but as I say that, Dobbo, he has kind of the same instincts. He's like, I'm losing some players, we're losing the short control, I'm going to go in towards Kitchen. And indeed, knowing at most there was one player there, is able to catch him off guard. And pretty much seal the deal here in this round. Probably
he just
M4, but takes so much damage.
Okay, never mind.
It's the only way he could go because of the bomb, obviously, at that point,
but just looked weird for a second. It's like, what the hell is going on? You know, Brody's just like running in. Lilmix, on the other hand, yeah, as you said, a bit of wonky the way they held that position. You know, they had Edward, they had Forrest, or excuse me, they didn't have Forrest spot because it was backside where I believe, was it Sledge ahead? I believe holding the line towards Forrest, towards Couch. In the end, didn't work out as well, didn't work out as one might have imagined, but Lilmix, they do have double up coming out to play now in Orgles. Their Mac 10 rush succeeding, albeit barely. Oh, what a shot! A trade of frags as Bowden takes one. It's Jayzar to reply almost instantaneously behind as Svedgehead is on the angle. Dobo and Jayzar, though, they'll find themselves more than just a little bit of success. And Jayzar, what's the top of the head of the one and only Kreese, but can he get it? Nope, denied.
And that's a bit of an issue now. Honestly, he was in a tough spot, obviously, but jumping up and going down now leaves it in a 2-on-2. That's pretty equal overall. Svezia had nearly had the read there on Connector. And in the meantime, Ping has even got the damage in towards Kreese, allowing for him now to back off away from B, and with that, just move back over to join up with his teammate, who should be watching short, I would imagine, right now to give cover. He's ready to peek at the exact same time as his teammate, and oh, the bomb still gets dropped. Okay, 1-on-1. This is winnable. In towards the window. I don't think it was heard either, so he may actually have a chance right now to get the drop. Yeah, I don't think he's going to expect it to have happened so quickly. He does shift his attention back around the jungle, but it just doesn't matter. Kreese hits those 2 instant dinks with the A1S, and with that confirms 14 for Lilmix. Damn, he was, what, like, I don't know, below 20 health right there. Anyway,
I think it was like 10 HP, 11 HP maybe.
He's still able to pull it off. Yeah, 19. That was ridiculous. Honestly, I don't know why the other player stopped peeking. I guess presuming that the smoke was going to cover him, but as you can see, it's on the low steps. It's not going to cover off once he actually starts moving up.
One hell of a round happening here for Lilmix, and more specifically for Kreese. And as you said, yeah, the smoke definitely could have been used a little bit better. But look at this, another B rush. This time around, it's a full commitment, and they might just find more purchase yet again. Brody, once more, he opened it up before. He's going to open up again. And look at Quicks, he pulls out the CZ. His timing couldn't be worse. Ping Gets himself. What is happening, Quicks?
What the hell?
What the hell? Seriously.
Only 2 players were out of the apartments. I'm guessing he didn't realize that.
I mean, even if you didn't realize it, surely you're aware there are more players behind than Amps themselves. You did Molly after all, or at least the Molly was up, so he knew there would be more players there. In any case, B seems to be the weak point here for Lilmix. I'm not sure, but this B defense is not very good, at least not currently. The way they're playing is, I don't know. It's a bit weird. Just weird seeing it like that.
Orgles have realized that as well. They've been targeting B a lot, and although they haven't all worked out, they've usually been successful in being able to get the opening kills and get the bomb down. It's been more so the after plants where they've faltered.
Exactly. It's weird seeing the B defense being that, well, that wonky, I guess, that weak. It's very unlikely to...
Playing it very passive as well. There was no one actually watching for like the drop under window itself. Instead, just one hiding in the middle of the bomb site.
Exactly.
They could close in the distance and at that point become pretty goddamn effective even with weaker weapons.
And then obviously Quick's doing that little bit of a stint, moving out window, getting close to sight with his CZ in hand instead of paying more attention. Oh yeah, I mean, at this point it's better to forget about that one, yeah. But in any case, Lilmix, this time it's an A take they'll have to hold on to. Can they do so? It's a better question. Quicks with a deagle. Maybe he can redeem himself for previous rounds, and certainly he finds 2, but that's still not enough, as his teammate had been caught with the M4 and CT. There goes Bowden, and there goes the round most likely. Although, Craze, I wouldn't put it past him. Maybe he can pull something crazy off just yet. It's certainly possible in this current moment.
I mean, we've seen crazier things happen, so I wouldn't completely disregard the possibility, but ideally, once he pops out here and gets 1, instantly Orgles are going to be ready for the trade, at least considering their position. So this is going to be tough. Nearly has a chance to line them up. Oh, if he hadn't have jumped, I'm guessing Mouse will jump right there. If he hadn't have, then probably could have got that double spray down even in the spawn. I've done some good damage on towards Ping for sure. And yeah, the damage he's taken himself now means he has to just back away. Save that M4 over into the next round where there is going to be very little for Lilmix to work with. It's, yeah, just a full eco. Thankfully, they get 2400 in the following, so they won't be on a double eco. But even then, it won't be a great buy. So this is getting dangerous. This is one that Orgles are definitely still in with a shot of winning.
Most certainly they have the shot. And will they take it is a better question, perhaps. And BQ's having such a slow game as well, only at 9 frags. He really is lagging behind right now, behind the whole team. And I think it's time for Lilmix to consider perhaps a bit of a switcheroo for the B defense as well. Put somebody who's perhaps a bit stronger to be solo in this instance, right? Kreese or Bowden to try and see if they can hold on to themselves. Oh, wait, what? Oh, okay, hold on. This might not be over yet. It is going to be a B push. They're pushing everything into this B site. As Jazar and Dobo do get the replies, it's Svejahead back into a one-on-one. Jazar drops down. I'm not sure he's aware that the Svejahead is right behind him or right on his flank, and indeed he is not. Lilmix on top of an eco. We were just saying how they need to switch out their B defense. They put everybody there, and a moment later, it is a full push coming from Orgles to the site itself. It is as if the stars aligned, and we can definitely say that perhaps Orgles were a little bit too eager to take the B side this time around.
You're having a laugh, lads. Like, oh, jeez.
I mean, seriously, having a bit of a, yeah.
There's just been too many situations like that, unfortunately. Both ways in both of the series that we've had today. It hasn't been just one team. It's been mental. Teams are struggling with these anti-ecos for sure, and in this case it is likely to cost Orgles the game, although it's still there, the possibility of an overtime, but it's just that they're fighting for right now, to try and pull it into the overtime and then have the opportunity to win. Oh, ended up running over Brody's head. Brody gets dropped, and now A is likely to just be swarmed. Svejahead will get 1, and Quicks as well. Oh no, this can still slip away for sure. Look at the health even on towards Dubbo. Jazar steps up when needed with the wallbang headshot, but Quicks is still here to molly in towards Tetris as well. He's going to struggle though. They're all getting ready to push him at the exact same time. He does have a teammate in the spawn. We'll see if he'll be able to help out. He has to flash in to actually take the wide peak. Drops it to the 1v1, low health on Dubbo. And of course that's how it ends.
It's BQ. Who else? Who better to finish it? The man that's been very quiet throughout the entirety of the map.